Hi all, Hal here with more Space Engineers, and as you can tell, we made it to the trade post. And we only had one small, minor hiccup on the way here, if you notice. We're missing some blocks. Yeah. Before I got the other two landing gear on it, I forgot how fast I was going and how slow it took to decelerate. But we haven't gone into the base yet. It is a glorious new day, and we figured we'd explore together. But first, we have to get started. So let's go. So happy Monday, everybody. Hopefully you had a fantastic weekend and are having a terrific Monday thus far. I know it's always difficult getting back into the swing of things after a weekend. Oh, and getting back into the swing of things, we have a base to explore. So I'm kind of curious. So that's the ladder system. So one of the things that I found out early on about these bases is that they are all set up so that you can basically get into them from the ground. It's just figuring out where you need to be in order to do so. And they do that so that in the case, basically everything goes to crap and you can't get, like you run out of hydrogen or something, you'll be able to get back into the bases to get the trade going. So that is a nice feature of all of these POIs. I have not yet found one, at least on the planets, that don't have that little feature. And some of them will do it different ways. But it's all a combination of platforms and ladders. So it's nice to see. Now I am curious. Okay, so we're not hostile with them. That's always a good thing. Ooh, nice. Alright, so we're going to talk about some of the new blocks that have been added as part of the economy update. One of them is going to be these corner blocks here. Let's show you. It's a chairless corner desk. So you know how in the last major update that they did, they introduced corner desks that have a chair on them. Well, now they've actually gone through and have added both the corner desk with no chair as well as the regular desk with no chair. Now, these are nice because they do add a little bit of detail in here, like you've got the little footrest area there, and allow for a little bit more option when you're doing set building. The other thing that they've added, and we're going to come back to this little beastie in a minute, because this little block, I appreciate what it does, but I'm not happy with the way it was implemented. And I'll explain that in a moment. I want to see if we have any of the other new blocks in the immediate area. And I'm not seeing any, so that's okay. All right. So this particular block, the vending machine block, the functionality is actually really cool. Basically, you come up and you interact with it on the up and down arrows in order to choose what you want to purchase. And depending on what it has, it'll have things like the different welders or different tools at different tiers, different weapons. This one is pretty limited in what it has. It has the power kit, which is basically a health kit for your power system. So you can now actually carry rechargeable systems just like you do for oxygen and hydrogen. They have both. They have that for both power as well as health now. So now all of your primary stats, you can have a kit that you can take with you that will that's useful and usable to recharge things while you're out and about. So you guys are basically just tools. Interesting. So what you can do is once you select what you want, if you have the funds available, you then click the little shopping cart button and it'll actually automatically inject that into your inventory. So as you can see, I don't have really anything on me, but if I had, and I don't have the money to pay 200k for that, but if I had it, say it tells you insufficient funds, but if you have it, it'll actually give you a message saying, transaction complete, thanks for the purchase, something like that. And then when you're looking away from it, you access your inventory, it'll actually tell you, what you have. It'll be over in wherever your inventory slot is. Now, the reason why the vending machine has me irritated There's actually a second block also called the ATM. Both of those blocks are only available to you to build if you have the premium DLC. And I'm not happy about it because of the fact that my argument has always been, and I've told KSH this directly, that I appreciate the blocks. I love the functionality. Not happy with them putting something that has functionality behind the paywall. It's something that should have been core. It should have been part of the core DLC. Leave the paid and premium stuff specifically for things that are not features. But that's just me. You may agree. You may disagree. Everyone has their opinion, and it's fine. All right. One of the things that they have also updated, I think they updated, and I still need to go back and check, is the planters now have a lower section here with plants in it as well. And I could swear that used to be a solid panel. I may be wrong and misremembering that. So if so, let me know. But let's come up here and take a look. See what we've got. New buttons. Well, not new buttons, but I'm kind of curious. You know what? Let's just do it this way. I am curious to see habitation, residential. Okay, this is the other new block that they did. So if you remember, they used to have the toilet seat block, which was basically just that by itself. A toilet block, which was this block, but it was open-faced like the armory block is. And now they have what they are calling the bathroom block, which I still think is supposed to have a door on it. It's kind of odd that it doesn't. There's no way to close the door. I checked the block metadata before, and there's nothing for opening and closing the door. But it's what it is. So I do like the appearance of that block, and I think they actually added lighting to it, so now it is a self-illuminated block, which is nice. Alright, so what's over here? Is this just another way in? Oh, that's the command room, I'm guessing. It's supposed to be the tower. Oh, there's a distortion on the edge of the window now. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Alright, so let's head back downstairs. And over here, let's see what's in here. Ooh, another habitation area. Very nice. It's probably an officer's quarters of some kind, like junior officer, since there's only 2 of them, but you get more windows. Very cool. That looks like the ATM down at the end of the hallway. Okay, so you have the new store block. This is basically the same as the block, the vending machine. So the difference between them is the vending machine does everything through the block UI, directly through the block texture or through the block face. The store, there you go. The store does it through a dedicated UI, and holy crap, they actually give you finished product. That is nuts. Wow. Okay. So each of the factions, like I said in the first episode, I've redone a couple of starts with the new economy update. This is the first time I found this particular faction, and I have to say I am ridiculously impressed with what's available. Holy crap. There's a scout miner. Does it tell you what it's... see, what they need to do is to tell you what type of thrusters and things are on it. Buddy miner. It would be really nice to know... okay, so yeah, it's got atmospheric. So, what do you have then? Atmospheric mining, Gatling gun, and auto stone ejector system. That's kind of cool. I have to say I am very, very impressed with what they've done with this update. Planetary. So looking at how much money you start with, basically everyone starts with 10k, right? That's not really enough to buy anything except for, well, I can buy a better welder. I can buy a couple of power kits, and that's pretty much it. So these guys actually have less than the other factions. So let me see here. Which factions do we have? So we have the independent manufacturing faction. All right. So there is one called their faction tag is IMMK, I think. And what they are is they're actually a cool group to find because of the fact that they deal with all of the like odds and ends. They deal with tools, they deal with resources, they deal with processed goods. So it's like it's really nice because of the fact that all of your, especially early game, to find that faction. Oh, yeah, the last save that I was playing around with, that was the first faction that I found, was basically this marketing team. And when I was doing the missions for them, I was able to get, like 100 or 200,000 credits fairly quickly. And was able to start buying, like, inside of one in-game day, I was able to buy basically everything I really needed to get going. Alright, and so that brings us to the contract system and the ATM. Alright, so for the ATM, you can deposit, if you have credit vouchers, you can actually deposit the credit vouchers directly or withdraw them if you so choose. I have entered the wrong amount because I don't have any on me. All right. But yeah, so that allows you to basically have, the ability to deposit things directly into your universal account. So the reason why I'm not overly happy with the fact that the ATM and vending machine are blocked behind the premium system is because they are bonus functionality. I understand that. But if you wanted to have one of these in your base so that when you're out and about fighting the different factions, or if you find you loot something from like some of the NPCs, in order for you to use the ATM, you have to find one of these bases. And there's no guarantee that the base will have one. I would like to be able to build these in my base without having to pay for the premium DLC, but is what it is. Alright, contracts. Alright, so here's what the contract does. Basically, it will tell you the type of contract, and we'll show you here what you've got. There's acquisition, which is basically going out, finding and collecting something. Bounties should be self-explanatory. You basically can create a bounty or have bounties created for the elimination of specific people, NPCs, or players. There's an escort mission, which is basically you go to a position, meet up with an AI. The AI goes from point A to point B, point C, wherever it needs to go, and then when it gets to the end of it, you're done. Right? Normal escort stuff. Hauling contracts. You are taking things from point A to point B. It will tell you how long you have and how far you're going to be traveling. Early game, I don't recommend taking these, specifically because of the fact that you may have to actually take these off planet. You may be hauling things from surface to, say, a space station, or from the planet to the moon, or whatever. So the further the distance is that you will have to travel, the longer the time is that you will have here. Just to show you, it's only a difference of a couple of minutes there, but Right. So some of them require you to pay collateral, like this one. Actually, both of these are requiring it. You have a repair mission, which is, well, there's not available, unfortunately, but basically they'll give you a waypoint and you have to go fix something. It could be that you have to add, 15 blocks to a build, or you have to add turrets to it, or you have to repair things that are out there, which means you should have the ability to manufacture. So if you're going to start doing these, you really want to have a ship that is set up for manufacturing parts. And then the search, these are probably the easiest contracts to start with, because what they will do is they will give you a waypoint. You go to that waypoint, and then the maximum GPS deviation, what that actually is that's telling you the area around the waypoint that they've provided that the item can spawn in. And it'll be the satellites that they use for the unknown signal generators. So, you know, the unknown signal system, the different types of satellites, all of those satellite types are viable options. I've had one that had the sphere on it, so when I got out there, it actually had spawned on an incline, and the satellite had rolled away, so it was actually outside of the 750 meters range. So yeah, these, like I said, tend to be fairly quick. I have not yet seen one spawn outside of like about 15 kilometers from the base that issues the mission. But given that these are random, they could end up anywhere on the planet. So one of the things you do want to be careful of is the duration. The other thing to note is that you will get reputation rewards for completing it. You will get reputation penalties for failing to complete it within the given time. The catch is they don't tell you who the reputation's for. So you could end up doing a contract for somebody that you don't want to do. You don't want to boost faction with for some reason. So the other thing to keep in mind, and the reason why you may not want to do that. Let's go in here for a second. Let me show you the faction. When you're talking about factions, if you notice when you mouse over it, it'll tell you who the manufacturer or who the faction's friends are. So if you gain faction with the primary faction, you gain secondary faction with their friends. The inverse is true as well. If you gain faction bonuses from, say, in this case, the independent manufacturers, anyone who is aligned against them, you will get faction penalties for. Now, the nice thing is that you gain more benefit than you lose for faction standing for completing the missions. So as long as you complete the missions, if you cycle through all of the missions, you will, for the most part, have a net gain for all of the factions. And the reason this is important is because as you get up to here, when you get over to that 500 threshold, which is the first one, that takes you into a friendly status. So from 500 to 1500, you will start getting bonuses for discounts like on when you're purchasing stuff, as well as bonuses in how much you're getting when you sell things. So as you can see, it's up to 10% discount and up to 5% additional when you sell something to them. So it's definitely worth taking the time to get your faction standings up with these guys. The second benefit is that it generates revenue, and using that revenue, you can then come back over here to the different vendors and purchase whatever they're doing. So if they're selling vehicles, you can buy the vehicles. If they're selling resources, etc. Pretty straightforward. I do like the base design. I have to say that the POI designs that they did for this are pretty awesome, actually. Now, the other piece that you want to remember is that you can start your own faction. So there is now a icon generator. You can select a predefined icon. Somebody has told me that you can actually load customs in here as well, but I don't know how to do that yet. So as soon as they do, we will have a custom faction in here. For now, I think we're going to grab... I don't know. These are all kind of... I mean, they're not bad. Tell you what, let's grab... sure, we'll grab that. And then you can change the background color. You can change, the saturation and value just like you do with everything else. So let's go that way. And then for the icon, let's go... something a little darker than we normally do, yeah? I mean, we could even go this way and just go completely. That would not be too bad. Sure, we'll do that. This needs to be 3 characters. And we're going to call it the Panda Exploration League. Alright. We will accept peace. Yes? Okay. So we will accept peace. We accept everyone because, well, we're just cool like that. Now, the faction has the ability to also buy and sell things. So when you set up a base, you can set up a vendor there, and other players, when they come in, if they're able to trade with you, they can buy and sell stuff to you. So the nice thing is that as a member of the faction, you can then add and withdraw from the account balance. So if you're selling things to other players, you can generate extra money that way, which is something that's kind of cool because there's a lot of RP servers out there now for space engineers. And what this will allow you to do is to actually set up fully functioning trade systems in the game. All right. So all of that being said, we've made it here. Some things to be aware of in these areas, because these are protected zones. For those who are familiar with the old admin or GM protections that used to be available in Space Engineers, that is basically what this system replicates, but it's a device that is part of the skill tree. Now, the fun part is I don't think, yeah, see, you can't drill in somebody else's safe space. What you can do is go right outside that safe zone, and you can start drilling. So I am fully expecting this to be something that you're going to have to deal with on multiplayer servers. So basically, you're going to want to have your safe zone be as large as possible, and they require a ridiculous amount of power to run. So there is a balancing system in place, but it comes down to, do you have the ability to continue to support it? Now, the NPC ones obviously run pretty much indefinitely. I'm not quite sure exactly how much resource these things have available to them, but it can't be something insignificant. Right. So we're going to drop that off in there. We tell him to go ahead and do 5 of those just to get some more resources going. The other thing that you need to be aware of is that when you are in somebody else's safe area, you're unable to modify, as in add or remove, blocks from your own build. If you need to do something where you're rebuilding, you have to go outside of the zone. So do keep that in mind, because I know that some people were wondering, well, what's to stop a raider from basically taking over your base and just basically rebuilding right inside the bubble, since you can't attack them while they're in here, which is true. But the people who own the base can attack you, so do keep that in mind, right? So that is everything that's going on there. We need to get this thing up and running. Right? Well, the ship is already going. We're not worried about that. We do need to find resources, though. Let's see. What's our battery looking like there? That's the timer block. We're going to take our battery and we're going to have you do that, because we want you to recharge as quickly as possible. Let's take a look. Let's see. We recharged in 8 hours. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Okay. So what we're gonna need to do is we need to set up a place where we can get a base going, and I'm thinking, not sure which way to go with it. You know what? Let's go ahead and do that. And what we're going to do is we're going to go look for some resources. See if we can find stuff that we need. Like I said, I am going to try and do as much of everything, especially for the first in-game week, on camera as much as possible. One of the first mods that we're going to be adding after today is going to be the UI update, so we will have the compass, because that is something that is going to be kind of necessary in this particular playthrough because of the way that things are progressing. We want to be able to navigate around the planet, just to make things a little bit simpler when we're trying to figure out where things are. I should probably have grabbed some missions too while we were out here. That would have given me a reason to go exploring in certain directions. Would have also given me some funds to go shopping with. There we go. See if we can find some resource nodes here. Looks like there might be some resources over there. Oh. That could have been bad. Need to pay attention where you're going, Hal. Okay. Yeah, it looks like there might be some resource nodes down there. Now, I am noticing that resources seem to be a little bit more scattered than they have been traditionally in Space Engineers. They seem to be going further between locations before you find more resources. Now, that might just be the seed that I am on, but that is the impression that I've been getting. Alright, so let's try. Or they changed up the indicators again. Looks like there might be something over here. Yeah, it looks like that might be some resource right there. What we're looking for is iron. Iron is the big one that we really, really need. Because I'm going to need that in quantity. And, yep, that's a resource marker. Okay. So we've got silicon. That's actually not a bad one to find either. Silicon, magnesium. And ice, really. Set that to recharge so that we can pull as much out of that as possible. Surprised there's ice out here. Okay, so we're gonna grab some of that. Actually. Grab all of it. Well, I just remembered that, you know, we can use stone to to get a bunch of other resources as well. Am I standing on stone and it's just... Is that what we have going on here?
Inventory full.
Alright. So we are going to try and keep... okay, so let's go... Let's pull all that out. So this is where we're going to start running into problems because of the fact that we have such limited inventory space. Alright, Move it back and forth. Okay. Oh, because we have battery. We want you onto auto, which is going to hurt a little bit because let's do a CO2 generator. Why are you not recharging my... Oh, because the cockpit's not piped in. That's right. Hurt dirt. Okay. There we go. And you should be there. Okay, so that gives us some basic stuff. So what we're gonna do then is, where did our ice go? Our ice is over here. So we've got ice, magnesium, and silicon. Let's go ahead and set a waypoint for this because we will need this. Okay, different current. So we've got ice, magnesium, and silicon. We may have more resources. We just have to find them. Alright, I think we're just going to go ahead and do the excavation mode here. I need the ice more than I need the stone right this second. Because we definitely need to be able to recharge our hydrogen and oxygen systems. Well, more so the hydrogen than anything else. Come on. I'm guessing that's a simulation of finding groundwater. Is the way they're handling that. Magnesium in there too, which we're not going to be able to do anything with, but that's okay, at least for right now. You in there. Actually, the stone can come out. And that is basically it for that stuff. Okay. That's not good. Let's go ahead and have you filled up. Let's go. How much do we have in there? We've got 2,600, so we want... There. And that's going to restack into the production queue, which is fine. Okay, that should give us enough materials to at least get the beginnings of a base going. Now, we don't have a whole lot of time before we start running into fun stuff of, you know, like AI starting to show up and the meteor storms. So, I'm thinking what we're going to end up doing here is, let's go ahead and do... did I not? Okay, so let's go ahead and get this stuff set up. And we want groups. Oh. Have we gotten to the point where two of these won't do it? Oh crap. We have reached the extent of what we can lift. Can I do large thrusters? I think I can do a large thruster, yes. What do I need for that? Metal grids. Do I have metal grids? More importantly, do I have 8 metal grids? I have 3. Crap. You don't require any metal grids, do you? Oh no, you do require a metal grid. That means we can make them. Nope, we can't make them. So the only way for me to get them then is from those things. All right. Unknown signals have become our lifeline short term. I need 5 metal grids. Button. It's one of these. Give me the button. All right, you know what? Nope, 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 nope. Come here. Stop, 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 stop. No, 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 no. Ah, come on. Come here. Oh, you son of a... Sheesh. Alright. Of course, it would be something completely useless, right? And nothing that has a grid. Already got everything out of there?
Inventory full.
All right. See if we can get over there before we run out of hydrogen. So one of the things that I've noticed is that the your hydrogen rate of consumption seems to have been adjusted, and I think that was because basically the way it was in the previous update on the Earth-like planet, you were just burning through it as fast as you were getting it. So if that is correct, I want to thank Keen for doing that, for updating it. Need 5, yeah, so I'm still going to need the 5 metal grids. Alright, so let's put... is there anything that we can get out of here? Let's grab that. Those are all things I can store. Actually, no. Let's see, what are these? What can we store in here? I thought we could store the small steel tubes in there. Guess not. those in, but okay. So what do we still need for you? We need 6 more construction components and 4 large tubes. Okay, so for the tubes, I can get 2 of those by taking off the old thrusters. What else do we need? We need a crap ton of motors and more construction components. Okay, so this is going to give us hopefully a bit. Alright, so we still need 3 grids. I need another 43 motors. Okay, can we produce those? So we're going to need 200 iron and 70 nickel. We've got not enough nickel, but that's okay because I think we have some up here. We do. Alright, so gravel, we don't want you in there at least. Not right this second. And so what do we still need? Still need 60 nickel and we need 40 nickel and a bunch of iron. Okay, so that's not actually too bad. But it's full, so we're going to grab you out. Grab you out. Okay. Actually, your survival kit. You don't have any. You don't have any. You don't have any. Okay. I guess I could. That would be really annoying. I was thinking that if I took all of the motors off, I could actually get myself in a situation where I could get this piece finished. But you still require large tubes, which we can't make, but we can make. What we could do is we could do something like this. Okay, so let's check here. And so we get rid of that stuff. We go grab one of these. An interior plate. Son of a... Are you kidding me? Alright. Yeah, this inventory limitation thing is rather crazy. Alright, so if we do that, need 8 motors. Which, this is actually going to help reduce the amount of mass we're carrying on the ship anyway. 24 girders, 2 computers. Oh, that's... What was that about? Do we have... go ahead and produce a couple of girders. I need interior plates. I actually really just need 16 girders. Alright. There we go. Ah, 18 girders. Alright. So which assembler do we have? What does that require? That requires metal grids, which we can't build, which means we need a basic assembler, which will allow us... Okay, it's just the one. That is just the one. We need 4 displays and a crap ton of computers. There you go. Do I have displays in here? No, the displays are up front. Okay. Alright, so the fun thing is that once we get all of this done and we're able to upgrade the ship a little bit, we're going to have to break all of this down, relocate over there, and rebuild it. So I'm going to probably... I need... was that 68 computers? Crap. So there you go. Yep, there. Okay. So wait for all of that to catch up. We're starting to run low on power. That'll be bad. Alright. Make sure that is off. Okay, that gives us a little bit more time with the power system. Go ahead and get some of this welded up. 31 more, huh? Let's just hope everything holds out here. Got the silicon, we're not worried about that. But we do need to get through pretty much the rest of these. Okay, we got plenty of... This thing requires nickel, which we don't have. Yeah, we haven't even found nickel yet. So what we'll probably end up doing is once we get this thing running, we'll probably, you know what, I may just go ahead and say hell with it and build here on the hill. That might not be a bad idea, but I'd kind of like to be down in the valley because we know that we're going to start getting meteor storms in the next, because this is the first full in-game day, so we've only got one more safe day. Yeah, it's going to be... And still can't store that, but I think if we pull... still need to pull... I think we can pull those out. Yeah, okay, so if we do that, let's go ahead and grab this stuff out. Will you quit doing that? Alright. So you go there. Okay, so we're gonna do a small cargo block. Okay. Interior plates, we do. So what do we need? We need metal grids. We need 4 metal grids. You know what? Let's do it this way. 35 construction components. Four metal grids. Yeah, that's correct.
Inventory full.
What do we need for this? We still need construction components. There you are. Metal grids. What do we... I think you can make them, right? Yes, you can. You need nickel and cobalt. You have nickel, but I don't think we're getting cobalt out of the stone. Alright. Well, here's a way to find out. Yeah. The fun of limited inventory space. Alright. Yeah, so we're not getting cobalt. Do we actually need cobalt for that? Really? I don't remember needing cobalt for that. Nickel and cobalt. How many do we need? Only need 1. Alright. 20 small steel tubes, which we can throw you over there. Throw all this in there. So what do we say? 20 small steel tubes, right? That's just iron. So iron is what we really need. Let's go ahead and grab all of this. Well, the fun part's going to be when we get to the point where we need you need more iron, because we're going to have to build an actual refinery at some point as well. I'm curious, what do you have up here? Magnesium silicon. Okay, so this is all more of the same. Lots of silicon. Let's see if we have anything else within spitting distance. Doesn't look like it. I really wish they would stop changing the surface indicators for resources. Alright, that's not a good thing. Okay. Because I think for the refinery, we're going to need, like, even the basic refinery, I think we need, oh no, I guess not. Oh, wow, that makes it a little easier. You just need a lot of iron. Okay, so let's go ahead and drill. We're going to go ahead and mine out a bunch of stone. Maybe we're actually just going to kind of channel in here. There you go.
Inventory full.
What I may do is I may... Do I want to do that though? So I'm thinking move this out a little bit, basically grind this entire thing down, because we're going to lose it at some point. And if I die, this will despawn. Which is one of the reasons why I'm trying to get the storage solution up. Because if I can get storage in place, you should be there. But if I can get storage in place, what I can do is I can grind this entire thing down, throw it all in the storage box, put this little beastie over here, then we can start piping things around it. But we need to get defenses up and running pretty much immediately so that we can protect our base from meteors. Yeah, so I'm thinking that's going to be our immediate concern. Come here, you. Because this is going to get difficult quickly. And then that'll give me some time to put... Actually, let me see here. That's just tubes and wheels, which I think tubes are just steel. Is that right? Yeah, so those are just steel. Batteries are nickel. You're magnesium and nickel. So you're cobalt. So the only thing that we have that requires cobalt. Yeah, the only thing we have that requires cobalt is the metal grids. So what we'll be able to do is we'll be able to get a basic base up and running. Let's see here. Interior turrets don't require anything, so if we do... What do we need to build actual turrets? We need to build an actual assembler, which requires metal grids. Oh, in order to build all the rest of this, including the safe zone, we need to get cobalt. Alright, so what I am going to do then is panic, honestly. What do we got? I want to get myself recharged here first. Alright. So we're going to throw all of this in here for now. I need to recharge that. I'd love to be able to store some of this stuff, get it out of my damn inventory. Tubes, display, and computers. The only thing I'm missing is one small steel tube, really. It just requires iron. I don't have a... Hey, look, we have stone left. Okay. Alright, so the idea is that I don't want to do any more... I don't want to do any more mining than absolutely necessary, so we're going to be doing a lot of stuff with the mission system. But before we get to that point, we have to get things up and running. So what I think we're going to do, let's grab that. Okay, how much do you store? You store 15K. Thank you. That means we can get basically all this stuff out. I have one of the small steel tubes in it. So put you in there. Put all that in. Is there anything left in here? Just more stone, which we're going to go ahead and... We're just going to throw it all over here. We'll keep those for right now. What do we need for you? We need steel plates, construction, so yeah. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to get a bunch of materials together to get the basic refinery online. So that will allow us to get some more materials processed. Man, yeah, this is going to be... Which means I'm basically going to have to mine a bunch of stone in order to get things done. Alright. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. We're going to go ahead and call this one here. I want to thank you all for stopping in. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you hit that like button. If you have any questions or comments, throw them down in the section below. If you're new to the channel, haven't done so already, just want to be kept up to date, or want to do something nice for me today, hit that subscribe button and be sure to ring the bell to be kept up to be notified when new videos release. For those who are new to the channel, Space Engineers is a Monday, Wednesday, Friday scenario for us. Sometimes things come out a little later in the day if there's some trouble in the production, but is what it is. And what we are going to do off camera at this point, I'm going to break this entire ship down and rebuild something that's a little bit more manageable, specifically just for scouting. But that's going to require me to do a lot of farming for materials, which basically means I'm going to be digging out a layer of this dirt, probably all the way to the other side of this thing as it is. And you've already seen me doing most of that, so I figured we'd call that one here. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we will see you back here on Wednesday for more Space Engineers. As always, folks, take care and be safe out there, everybody. Oh, okay, time to start breaking this thing down. Sorry, baby.